And yay! And we will have we have people trickle in through the morning as we get going. But you are here in good time for the top of the day, which we always start off with our Q and A time. So this is an opportunity to ask those burning questions and get some awesome responses, often, specific answers to your questions, sometimes feedback that other people are dealing with similar issue, but in any case, this is a great opportunity to start getting some feedback and input from other experts and or those experienced in this world of independent publishing. So, does anyone right off the bat have a question? Okay, then does anyone have something that they learned last month? Was that a question? Dave?
A combo.
A combo. I love it. Great. Here comes Dave.
I'll try to make this sound like a question. The question is, has anyone ever had an experience with LSI as bad as the following? And if so, what could you do about it other than what I did?
Oh, hang on, before you jump right in, LSI, Lightning Source Ingram, right?
International,
International.
also known as Ingram Spark. To the rest of us.
Well, almost, right?
Basically.
Okay.
Really close. Yeah, they seem to be really merged now. But experience one, I order up my electronic proof. Perfect. I then order the hard copy proof. Number one. Hard copy proof. First 36 pages missing. Okay, it's the Christmas rush. I order hard copy proof number two. On the pages with dark backgrounds, there are big white streaks down the page. After about 12 email exchanges with the most incompetent people I've ever done business with, I finally get an explanation from someone who knows what they're doing. The machine which made the proof was low on ink. So now we have a third hard copy proof coming Tuesday, we'll see. But meanwhile, I've changed my Gmail, and it takes me, I counted them, 11 exchanges with LSI to finally get the Gmail address exchange, because the first 10 people I talked to did not know how to make it happen. So what I found out is that typically the customer service reps at Spark and LSI now, they're very young. That's good, probably. But, well, it could be fun to be young. But they are very young. They're very inexperienced. They're part-timers. And the ones I've talked to are candid when I ask them how long you work there. They say 3 or 4 months, which I think is probably exaggerated. They just don't know what they're doing. So the lesson I learned, well, it's supposed to be a question, but it's a topic.
So, can I make a couple of observations about your observation? Well, yes, that goes without saying. No, first of all, just to make sure everybody understands, when you go and get your book printed, print on demand from either CreateSpace or Ingram Spark / LSI, the printer that it's being printed on is, honest to God, a big old damn inkjet. That's what it is. It's, well, but it's an inkjet.
But it's a copy machine in essence.
Right. And the point is, and this is true also if you, I mean, those of us who have, do you know what espresso printers are? There are some bookstores and coffee houses that have these little machines. They're not little, they're actually kind of big. But they're basically a printer that is a one-purpose thing. It prints out books. And you can order a book and have it printed right there in the bookstore. That's kind of cool. But all of us know what it looks like when the ink is running low, when the red ink or the blue ink or the black ink is running low. You get the damn streaks. And that's exactly what happened here. And somebody should have spotted it. They do have, quality assurance that should have spotted it. Well, but You spotted it. You're the quality assurance.
So this sounds to me like an opportunity for an author to write a book about customer service. Sell it to Ingram.
And I think the other thing that I was going to observe, and anybody else that has any different thoughts on this, I'd love to hear them. They've been growing a lot. This is a good thing. But the bad thing is exactly what you're talking about. I think they have a lot of people who are new there.
Excuse me. This is an Ingram Amazon question. So, the book is ready for publication, goes to publication, and then the metadata goes to Amazon, right? And it takes 4 to 6 weeks. Could you enlighten me on that? And it's just taking an extra amount of time to get that all sorted out.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So are you only printing through, this is the print book?
Print book, Ingram Spark.
And only through Ingram Spark?
Okay, so you're only using, going through Ingram Spark.
Correct.
I have some thoughts about that. Does anybody else have any thoughts about that? My name is David Cutler.
I'm Robert Perry.
And you're Robert Perry. And I will tell you this. What you have is the world's largest book distributor, John Ingram, right? And the world's largest book retailer, Amazon. And they usually get along pretty well, but every once in a while, they start little turf wars with each other. Okay? And we end up in the middle. So all of a sudden, your Ingram-only book that is print on demand, that they can get to anywhere in the world, drop ship immediately,
Right.
is available in 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
Okay?
Or
That'll
a
happen.
month.
Or
It says temporarily out of stock.
or temporary out of stock, or, you know, no
Which
whatever.
Ingram will say, they'll say, well, your book's already populated and now we can go in and
Yeah, I got it.
and deal with it.
But they need to go in and deal with it. And as we understand, you have to deal with the right customer service people to get that to
Right.
happen. This is one of many reasons why, when I am using print on demand, I use both Ingram and CreateSpace. CreateSpace only for Amazon, but only Amazon is still, you know,
Right.
60% of the print books that I sell.
Right.
So there's 2 reasons that I do that. One, I save 15%. Okay? I don't have to pay the distribution. So I make more money. When I sell a CreateSpace book on Amazon, I make more money. Okay? Please. Other people, Ruth first and then Lee.
There are lots of great reasons to do CreateSpace and then Ingram Spark, and do it first, okay? And I've done whole presentations on this thing, because the main one is because of the CreateSpace Amazon solid relationship, okay? Your book will never show up that it's available in 2 or 3 weeks. It might show up that for a customer or you, if you're looking online, 1 to 2 days. But that's the most I've ever seen lately. The other reason is that CreateSpace, you can, their customer service is superb. Okay? You can talk to them, you can, they don't have a chat, that's the only thing that I would like them to do, but you can talk to them 24/7. Okay? Ingram, you cannot talk to them 24/7. Okay? They keep regular office hours mostly. Okay? And emails, good luck if they answer you in a timely manner. Okay? CreateSpace, I've had 24 hours, 48 at the most, where they get back to us. Plus, you can like debug your book, get everything totally perfect.
And why is it better to do that on CreateSpace than Ingram?
Because one, they're faster. Okay, they turn it around less than 24 hours or less, except during high season. And they will, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, so, Ingram Spark has gotten better about that. I do want to give them, as long as you don't publish it, okay, you don't have to pay any additional upload fees. But if you click on publish and distribution on the Ingram Spark side, and then you say, oh my God, I found 5 typos, then they will charge you $25 per file. Unless, of course, you're an IBPA member, okay, and then it's free, okay?
Right.
I think that's.
So what I found is that I have to,
Wait.
Just a quick follow-up is that I have to manage the expectations of my client. So I'm caught in the middle, and that's obvious. But what I realize with future clients is and whatever book I do with that client later, is to realize that there's gonna be this 4 to 6 week thing if I'm using Anagram, that's what, it's just,
And there's a reason you really don't want to use CreateSpace.
well, I'm not arguing that point, I'll just, you know, I'm just telling you where I am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm Lee Foster, and I'd actually like to go back to a previous question. We talked about this big book you're doing, the big book on house construction and so forth, and David, and the anxiety that one feels with a print-on-demand book is that you don't know. You don't know how good that print-on-demand book is going to be. That is really a substantial anxiety, especially with a huge book like yours that would cost a huge amount. So it goes back to the concept that maybe you want to do both types of books. Maybe you want to do an offset book and a print-on-demand book. A version. Like I did 3,000 copies of this book, Travels in an American Imagination, in China, and it's beautifully printed, and the photography came out beautifully. It's a travel literary book. I went to the Port of Oakland. I got my 3,000 copies on a few pallets with my rental truck, and I got home. I opened up a box. The book looked beautiful. I opened up box 2. It looked beautiful. Therefore, I assumed that all the books would be beautiful, and they were. And I still got maybe 1,000 copies of the 4,000 I printed left. But I put the book last year in both Ingram and CreateSpace for those situations where, you know, I don't want to have to service the customer. I don't want to have to ship the books. And yesterday, I had a couple days ago, I had a little event with Becky, a little podcast type of event, and there were a few people who dialed in and listened to this, and one said, "Oh, I read from my book," and she said, "Oh, I love this book. I'll go out and get this book tomorrow. I'm in New York City." She was one of the people listening. So then she wrote me an email on my website yesterday saying, "Oh, I went up to Amazon and I got the book yesterday." Now, I didn't have to print that book. I mean, I didn't have to send her that book. And with my travel books there, I have people who come to California in the West, in England, and they'd like to buy the books. But I don't want to send the books. So you might consider a situation where you can control the distribution, and you have a pretty book, no problems, but you also have it in print on demand where you'll run that risk because you don't want to worry about Australia shipping.
And just to remind everybody of the history of print on demand, it was created, we think of it as an independent publishing solution, right, of self-publishing and really tiny publishers. It was actually something that Penguin and Random House and those large publishers turned to because they didn't want to put themselves in a situation where they were waiting for a boatload of books and suddenly couldn't service a particular title because it had gone out of stock faster than they wanted. So it's actually something that the large publishers use for exactly the kind of stuff that Lee is talking about.
Yeah, to answer one of the other questions from before about CreateSpace or Ingram Spark, I use both. And I find that it helps to do CreateSpace first. And one of the advantages for me is that I use their templates. And so by doing so, and I've done about 200 books for myself and clients, so if I had to pay a book designer from scratch for each one, it would take me much longer to do it. So for me, it just works well to use one of their templates and then give that to a book designer and say, you know, use this guideline, so it's much less expensive using that approach than starting from scratch with a book designer. And then, you know, I have the book out, and I do it for free on Create Space, and then I've been transferring all my books now over to England Spark as well. And so that takes a little bit longer because it takes, I don't know, I think it's about 10 days or something between them looking at it and approving it, and, you know, it just takes a longer process. So I have them out both ways.
On print on demand, I'm just curious what other people's experience has been. Kindle Direct is now offering paperback service, and I tended to like it better because I like their cover creator better than I like CreateSpace's cover creator. And the downside had been that they weren't offering author proofs, but they are now offering author proofs for cheap. The thing I found that was frustrating is you can't go back and forth without chewing up an ISBN, which surprised me because it was all Amazon.
Did you have your own ISBN or did you use?
I have my own ISBN, and if you have your own ISBN on CreateSpace and you move the title, they won't go back and forth. So I'm basically burning.
So you have CreateSpace and you have Kindle Print Direct. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, you can have one of the other through Amazon, not both apparently. Like, maybe you could have both, but I'm not having both. But when I decided I liked Kindle Direct better, I wound up moving a title from CreateSpace and was frustrated to discover I had burned an ISBN. So I was sharing that, but I'm curious what other people's experience was.
No, I'm sorry.
So they're still getting the kinks out of that system. Okay, this whole thing about providing proofs lately is the latest, you know, new feature, and the system locks in your ISBN. You can use that same ISBN if you use it on CreateSpace. You can use it over on Ingram Spark, but the technology, you know, between the two, Kindle paperback, which seems like an oxymoron, but they're working through, you know, KDP for your paperback versus working through CreateSpace. Yeah, they may have, you know, a challenge with that, but I would talk to them and say, this is something you guys need to straighten out. You know, if you want people to move to this. I've heard rumors that, you know, somewhere down in the future they may, you know, not have the CreateSpace interface because the latest thing is, besides the proof thing, is they've stopped offering editing and design services. CreateSpace has. So it's becoming more of a bare bones kind of thing, like the KDP operation. Okay?
Just so everybody is clear, KDP paperbacks are printed, it's CreateSpace, it's just a different front end to CreateSpace.
Does that make sense? So when you say when they say, do you want to, create your paperback now, right? Has everybody seen that?
Yeah.
You publish a Kindle ebook, and it'll ask you to do your paperback, and all that is a different back end to the whole CreateSpace apparatus. That's all it is. But the cover creator is based on the KDP cover creator, not on the CreateSpace cover creator, which was awful.
Okay, I got a question for Ruth, quickly. Ruth, who was it that Ruth helped me with my book. Who did my book? I ordered some the other day and I can't even remember where I got them, but it was no problem.
Your book is up on both CreateSpace and Ingram Spark.
Okay, I think it was Ingram Spark. Anyway, I just go on there, click a few buttons, the book's come in a couple of days, no
Yeah.
problems. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And I am looking now at my book on Amazon, which I priced at $24.95, which I just made up. You know, why not? But I noticed they will give free shipping on orders over 25. And I'm wondering, if I priced it at $25.10, would my buyers then get free shipping? Anybody?
That might help.
But so many of us are Amazon Prime members and get free shipping anyway.
Oh, but my clients are all poor.
So yes, that would be a good idea. They still have that minimum for non-Amazon Prime.
And do I take it that I could just go on my site and change the price through Amazon?
You'd have to go on Create Space.
Okay, but I can do
But
that.
I will also point out that they will occasionally, if they decide you've overpriced a book, they'll drop the price.
Well, they've
At
done,
which point,
well, they've done that on my others, and I won't even sell them. When I get an order on some of my books, it isn't worth me processing it. If somebody wants to find me and order a book, I'll send it to them, but I just screw Amazon.
They're not in the print on demand system.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah, no, well.
The way they priced it is the problem. I mean, they're selling the book for like $5. So it's just not worth it.
well,
That's
That,
not Amazon selling.
yeah, that doesn't,
Okay, well,
and they're probably selling used. But, you know, when a new book of yours is sold, you get your, I mean, whatever the discount you set, you get that, it's usually 45% of the MSRP, not of the sales price. So if they want to sell it for less, you still get your money.
Mike Mirabella, and the conventional wisdom right now, what's running on hard bound book or soft bound for the first time coming out, which should I do? Because I don't want to.
What kind
It's
of
a
book?
children's book. It's a children's book, and which will be in libraries, hopefully. And I would understand that that is a hardbound book. But I don't know, I see a lot of soft books too.
Can I just share my own experience?
Sure.
And then I'd love to hear other people's. I released both a hardcover and a paperback of my young adult novel. And the libraries basically are the only ones who order the hardcover. And the great thing is it's print on demand, so I didn't have any, I mean, other than the setup cost of creating a different cover, it didn't cost me anything, and I make more money on the hardcovers, so that's great.
There's no problems with returns or anything.
Well, libraries are less likely to return. That's one of the nice things. Where I get the returns, and this is true with all print on demand, not as much on Amazon, but in terms of sales to bookstores and things, you get returns and you eat a fair amount. I mean, it can really,
It chopped into me.
yeah. But that's part of the cost of doing business. And so, I mean, you know, there are going to be returns, and you need to anticipate that. But if your book is, I mean, I had the experience of releasing both at the same time, one for one market, one for the other, and that seems to have been how it shook out. I mean, I think some people buy my hardcover to give as a gift,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but also mostly it's to libraries.
Thank you, Vicky.
I don't understand what creative space is. Could you define it more clearly for me? I'm coming in out of the dark here.
Sure. Create space. Yeah.
Christina Campbell.
Well, there are probably many people in the room who know about Create Space. So is there a voice we haven't heard yet this morning who would like to share about Create Space and what that is? Oh, come on now. Come on. This is not an Ask David session.
Create Space is what it started out to be, to be the print-on-demand, hardback or paperback version of Amazon. And people tend to use what they talk about, people Ingram Spark or Lightning Source, because bookstores who would otherwise sell your hardcover or paperback don't like to buy from anything owned by Amazon. So if you want, but if you put it on Ingram Spark, it won't be in Amazon because they feud. So if you want,
No, that's not true.
I'm not sure, it's not true anymore, but it'll be shown as, it won't be, shown as favorably?
Sometimes it'll say out of
It'll
stock.
stay out of stock. It'll be there, but it won't be as easily to get. So the advice, common advice is to be on both. And then what I was talking about before is that Amazon Kindle is now competing with itself by offering a paperback publishing service. And the rumor is they will phase out CreateSpace, but when I asked them about that, their customer service people, they claimed no knowledge of that.
And just to take it back even to a more basic step, CreateSpace is the simple way to publish your book in Amazon, on Amazon. Right? In print specifically, not ebooks.
Yeah, let me just say too that if you want to do an ebook, it's Kindle, and you have to have different ISBN numbers for your Kindle version, which is electronic, and your print version, which is in print. Joe Sinclair.
Hi, Kindle will give you an ISBN, so you don't have to have an ISBN. I just also wanted to comment on the returns from libraries and bookstores. You can set your Ingram Sparks to no return, or no refunds or whatever, and so it doesn't come back. It might reduce sales, but at least it'll do that. What?
It does reduce sales.
It does reduce. All right. So anyway, I'm just. Oh, and the other thing, somebody told me that CreateSpace is now doing hardcovers, and I didn't think so, but I thought it's just paperback.
Paperback.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Somebody had misinformation there. What?
We'd like them to do hard covers, but they're not doing that yet.
Okay.
Okay. And the ISBN question as to where to get them, that's a larger question. So, but we're not going to dive into that right now. But it comes up frequently, and I know we'll see it in the BAIPA Big Book of Answers, or whatever their title ends up being.
I'm Arlene Miller. I'm going way back to the beginning. David, I'm not sure my story is as bad as yours, but I just had an unpleasant lightning source experience as well. You're not talking Ingram Spark. Lightning source, yeah. I just sent them my book, which is 3 books put together, and I didn't look at the digital proof because I ordered a print proof. I got the print proof and the pages were on the wrong sides. The odd numbers were on the left, and it was not their fault. It was my designer who did not leave the blank pages between the 3 books that were together. But you can't just upload new files with Lightning Source. You have to call them, and it has to be a big deal. So I called them. I sent them new files that were fixed, and I didn't know how to get a proof because it's not intuitive on there. So I called. They walked me through how to get a print proof again, and they sent the proof, and it was the same. And I waited and waited, and it was the same. And I said, am I going crazy? And did I send them the wrong file again? And I hadn't. I called, and they said, oh, you must have ordered the proof before we approved the new files. So then I had to order, I uploaded again, I think probably, and I had to order them a 3rd time. I don't know how many times they charged me for the proofs. And they said, well, it'll take weeks to get the proof because it's so busy because it's holiday season. And I said, well, last time it was Christmas and I got it overnight. Oh, it'll take a week, and it took overnight. I didn't even order a 3rd proof. I just gave up. I got tired of waiting. I looked at the digital proof. It was fine, and I ordered just 1 copy of the book, which is cheaper than ordering a proof. And that, I guess, came over. Yeah, it's like $30 for 1 proof copy at Lightning Source. And it was like $27 to order a copy of the book.
I have a question for you, David, about that.
Can people who have been with Lightning Source, can they move everything over to Ingram Spark and have an easier experience?
Why, yes, they can, and in fact, why, yes, they'd love you to. Because in fact, Lightning Source was originally set up as the print-on-demand service that Ingram was providing to medium and large-size publishers, not to people like us. And so they're used to having people that are doing this constantly. And so their the Lightning Source customer service is not as good as Ingram Spark.
Oh, God.
Okay, well, and Ingram Spark is not fabulous. This is unlike Amazon, which is a retailing organization, and therefore their customer service tends to be pretty good because they're dealing with the public all the time. Ingram is a go-between.